Well, it's not exactly a Saturday morning cartoon, but there is a picture of uh, a rather young Aleister Crowley on a pony uh, marching across China. If you don't have the Book of Lies, now this is Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies, which is falsely called Breaks, the wanderings or falsifications of the one thought of Frater Perdurabo, Aleister Crowley, which thought is itself untrue. Quite a title. If you don't have the Book of Lies, or if you've picked up the Book of Lies and looked at it and said, what the heck is this about? There's strange little poems and it's insanely good. It's a magic book. Okay. Truly, it's a magic book. And if you don't have it, I strongly advise you get it in whatever edition that is available. This is, I bought this one new in 1974. And it was originally published by Samuel Weiser. That's how long ago it was. But anyway, I was looking through it, and I sort of opened it up at random as an oracle, because in a sense, Kabbalistic documents such as this make fine oracles. And I turned to chapter 13, and it got me thinking about the path. Okay, or what we call the path, or what we think is the path, or what we imagine is the path. And many of us start out on what we call the path relatively early in life. But I was racking my brains and I thought, well, I wrote something somewhere that has something to do with that. And I finally found it just before we sort of went on the air this morning. Just last year, I believe, this came out, Llewellyn's Complete Book of Ceremonial Magic, which is a huge book. I didn't write this book. I wrote the introduction to it, and I was officially the editor, one of the co-editors, along with my dear friend David Shoemaker. And it came out in Llewellyn. It's very thick, and it's truly an encyclopedia of ceremonial magic, with a dozen or more mini books written by the current living luminaries, experts in their various fields of ceremonial magic, alchemy, Kabbalah, etc. But here's what jogged my memory. It's my introduction, or the beginning of my introduction anyway. The editor's introduction. And I have the two epigrams, one from my dear late friend Donald Michael Craig. Magic isn't something you do, magic is something you are. And then Crowley's famous quote, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. I was an 18-year-old atheist when my passion for all things magical and mystical was born out of a psychedelically triggered epiphany of self-realization. In a timeless slit of eternity, I saw in blinding technicolor certainty that all things in the cosmos light and time and space and energy and matter and motion and my own self were merely cascading fractals of a supreme and awesome singularity of consciousness. Furthermore, I giddily surrendered to the most self-evident of self-evident truths, that this supreme singularity of consciousness was God and myself. In the days and weeks that followed that curious awakening, I combed the stacks of my college library for books on Zen, yoga, and other varieties of Eastern mysticism, hoping to find in classical literature other examples and parallels to my chemically induced experience. I soon found the works of Alan Watts, Paramahansa Yogananda, and a wide selection of other material to capture my attention. My timing for such a quest could not have been more culturally synchronistic. The pop world of the mid-1960s viewed such esoteric studies and practices as being where it's at, socially hip and sexy. Oh, I was going to look so cool losing my ego. For the next 10 years or so, I made a real effort to become a good yogi. I truly don't regret a moment of mantra chanting, fasting, and pranayama, but I eventually came to the realization that I was fundamentally hardwired differently than the Eastern mystic I was trying to emulate. I was objective rather than subjective, active rather than passive. I began to seek out some sort of Western system of consciousness expansion and self-transformation. What I eventually found was the Kabbalah and 6,000 years of philosophies, spiritual practices, arts, sciences, and mythologies that lie at the heart of the Western philosophy and religion. Indeed, it forms the foundation of Western civilization itself. I found magic. Even under the best circumstances, ceremonial magic is an awkward and difficult study, especially at the beginning. There is no such thing as Magic 101. It seems that wherever one chooses to begin, one should already be familiar with or have mastery of a half dozen obscure and esoteric subjects about which one is woefully undereducated. Fledgling magicians are forced to dive into the deep side of the pool and sink or swim. Looking back, I'm not sure why I didn't drown in the murky waters of the magical swimming pool. Perhaps I was too lazy to get out of the water. Now, I go on to say, I wish I had a compendium like this at the very beginning. But that one line, perhaps I was too lazy to get out of the water, brought me to mind of chapter 13 of the Book of Lies. And the chapters look like this, okay? That's a whole chapter right there, and the comment on it is right there. I think they're all just one page, and they're all different. Some read like poems, some read like prose. Some are just full-blown rituals. But this one talks about the path. And it's called Pilgrim Talk, okay? O thou that settest out upon the path, false is the phantom that thou seekest. O thou that settest out upon the path, false is the phantom that thou seekest. When thou hast it, thou shalt know all bitterness, thy teeth fixed in the Sodom apple. Do you see where that's going? Oh, a Sodom apple is camel poop or dung found on the desert, okay? So, O thou that seekest out upon the, O thou that settest out upon the path, false is the phantom that thou seekest. When thou hast it, thou shalt know all bitterness, thy teeth fixed in the Sodom apple. Thus hast thou been lured along that path, whose terror else had driven thee far away. O thou that stridest upon the middle of the path, no phantoms mock thee. For the stride's sake thou stridest. Thus art thou lured along that path whose fascination else had driven thee far away. O thou that drawest toward the end of the path, effort is no more. Faster and faster dost thou fall. Thy weariness is changed into ineffable rest. For there is no thou upon the path. Thou hast become the way. Or you're just too lazy to get out of the pool. Any comments on that, my dear?
I just had to come in because I like hearing it. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Comments.
Yes.
Some people say will say I'm looking for my path. I don't know what my path is. And your path, you don't see it because you're on it. And I particularly like the camel poop part. I think my path has been full of camel poop a lot lately. And thank God we're old and it's all going to be downhill.
Well, anyway, the path probably leads us across that great desert, and we're following the camel path, and the camel has a cloven hoof, and every camel step is a V. So we're following V, V, V across the desert of the abyss, and biting our teeth into Sodom.
No, but we're supposed to be like, it gets its balance from where the two parts of the V meet. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
That's right.
So we have to.
It's
very zenny. We walk down the middle path with equanimity and no attachment, and then we don't even care.
And elsewhere, Crowley says the camel carries water with it and spills one drop every 10,000 years, and pretty soon, after 80 billion years, the desert will bloom.
It actually pees too.
Such wisdom. Camel pees too.
I have to go make muffins now.
Okay. Because it was Saturday morning cartoons, I wanted to do something else, and I first of all I thought about my dear friend who I believe is watching right now, Brianna Siri, was kind enough when many years ago when I was writing this book of ordinary oracles to illustrate my little 22 poems for the New Year's Eve tarot with her own tarot deck. Isn't that all these images are just precious images. Look at the magician there. There he is. Like little aliens. And actually these got published as cards along with the poems that go with it. Twixt dark and light the maid serene weaves spells of fascination, spinning moonlight veils from strands of dream to conceal your initiation. The female is the catalyst, the high priest's decree is clear, by virginity's power you'll be transformed to greet the coming year. But anyway, I thought, there's another chapter in this book called the Tarot of Painful Truth. And I thought, just for fun today, if with your permission and cooperation, if everyone would just take just a moment and think of a question or issue on your mind that you would say ask a tarot card reader. So you think of a question, and I will draw 3 cards only, and I will read to you from the Tarot of Painful Truth. And perhaps you'll get your insight on your question. Okay? Now, please, while I'm shuffling, I'm only going to use trumps here. I wish there's another word I could use besides trump. Ask your question. Ask it out loud so it rings in your objective ears as well as your subjective ears. Got your question? Good. Here are the 3 cards. Here's the Tarot of Painful Truth. The first card. No matter what your question was, your answer is the sun. Don't get too excited. You conceited peacock. It's all about you, isn't it? No matter what you think your question was about, it's really about you. Are you happy? Do people love and respect you enough? Are people saying nice things about you? Are they buying your product, your story, your BS? Did the photographer get your good side? Just remember, you're just a glowing mass of gas and dust. Sooner or later, if there's not enough of you, you'll end up a black dwarf. If there's too much of you, you'll become a black hole. Then, who are you going to shine on? Boy, busted me for sure. The second card, oddly enough, I love this shit. The second card is the moon. Which is not far away. Okay, here's the moon. You're creeped out about something. Or you wouldn't be trying to read your own tarot cards. Now you draw one of the creepiest cards in the deck. Don't even dream about putting a good spin on this. This is the ultimate card of deception. Regardless of what you think your question was, the answer is one of the following. Someone is lying to you. Everybody is lying to you. You're lying to yourself. Someone is as he or she is not as he or she appears. Something is not as it appears. Nobody is as they appear. Nothing is as it appears, or all of the above. There's only one good thing to say about this situation. It will pass. Now, do you remember your question? Well, your third choice is the star. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish I wish tonight. For as long as I remember, I've wished upon the first star I've seen in the evening sky. I even remember the very first time I did it, hoisted up on my father's shoulders and giggling at the thrill of being so high off the ground. I didn't even have to think about what my wish would be. I want to be happy. It was an uncharacteristically wise choice of wishes for a 2-year-old spoiled brat. Since then, it's been my only first star wish. Oh, I still have lots of other wishes and hopes. But when it comes right down to it, all of them don't amount to a hill of beans if I'm too unhappy to enjoy them. So when you draw this card, think about this. Deep down inside, every man and every woman is a star. And just like your celestial brothers and sisters, you are a self-radiant and creative God. You have your own unambiguous place in the universe. Yes, it's probably a good thing you drew this card, because every once in a while, whether you think you deserve it or not, you have a reason to be hopeful. You have a reason to be hopeful, because the star you must wish upon is yourself. And that's the end of Saturday Morning Cartoons. I have another Chinese 3-hour workshop ahead of me early this evening. And I'll be doing that for a while. I'll also do the same marathon next weekend too. So if I'm a little punchy today, it's because yesterday was I got up at 4 in the morning, and then the sleep pattern all screwed up and meal pattern. But anyway, it's a good thing. It might even be part of my path. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. And try and succeed to not only bring peace to the world around you, but start by finding your own inner peace, even if it's for a split second. Because there is no time, and that split second is eternal. Till tomorrow, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.